What's going on, guys? My name is AbsolutelyBlake and welcome back to my channel. It has been requested of me to make a video about being in foster care. In one of my fact videos, I mentioned that I was a foster kid, and a lot of you actually mentioned that you were as well. So I'm gonna kind of just jump around and talk about what it was like for me being a foster kid and how the system works in Canada. So if you're a foster kid too, this video might be good for you, and if you're not, you should just stick around to kind of get to know how my life was before I became who I am today. And I'm gonna answer a few questions that I think a lot of people will be asking in the comments before I jump into the video. For example, yes, I know my biological mom. I also do know my biological dad, but he was never really around. And from the sounds of it, it's gonna sound like I had it really good compared to what most foster kids might have. I did have it shitty at first, but I kind of figured out how the system worked and made it benefit in my favor. So if you're in the system, maybe you can take my knowledge and help it benefit you. And when I say the system, I mean Family and Children's Services, which is being a foster kid. And one more thing before we start, I used to be super embarrassed to tell people I was in foster care and used to hide the fact. So don't feel like you have to let me know in the comments, but just enjoy my life in foster care. How the system works in Canada is that if you foster a child, the government will give you $960 a month per kid that you're fostering to go towards food, clothes, rent, all those kind of bills so that you can take care of the child. Now, a lot of these families, not all of them, but a lot of them literally foster kids just for the money. And I definitely ended up in a couple of families that were in it just for the money. So I was actually in the system 2 separate times, the first time being when I was in grade 6. So I was put into a foster family at a very young age. The system likes to keep siblings together, so they kept me and my sister together for the most part. And in this specific family, I'm pretty sure that they were in it for the money. I can't really say if they were or if they weren't, but here's how it went. It was actually not very fun because I didn't know who these people were. They were nice people to an extent, but we were forced to eat the worst food, which might not sound that bad, but it literally felt like we just couldn't do anything. And we were taking out of our homes and being forced to just eat shitty food and not have anything like paid for us. We never got new clothes. We never got like good food, except for on Fridays we were allowed to have like fast food. But I remember complaining to my fax worker, which is like your counselor, I guess. Every kid gets one. You have somebody that is like a middleman. So if you don't like something that's going on, you tell them and they'll help you find a new home, or they'll talk to the family and try and fix it. So me and my sister were with this family for like 6 months, and we just absolutely hated it. It felt like child slavery, if I'm gonna put it into any category. And from what I remember, they tried to get me to switch schools, which is why you guys will know when you always have that family, that best friend family who you know will be in your life forever. Because one of my best friends in grade 6, his dad offered to pick me up every morning from this house just so that I can continue to go to the same elementary school. He literally woke up half an hour early every day to pick me and my sister up, which was really nice of him, and I thank you so much. But long story short is we were in foster care the first time for 9 months, and then we were allowed to live with my mom again. I don't even remember where we were living, but for grade 7 and grade 8, me and my sister were living with my mother. Then grade 9 came, the first year of high school, and boom, we were taken away from our family again. 2 of my mother's friends opted to take care of us while we were in foster care, so it was like we were living with somebody that we knew, so we didn't think it was gonna be that bad. Now, these people did a lot for us. They took us on cruise ships, they took us to Disney World, did all this stuff, but there's some specific things that I didn't really enjoy while being there. One of them being that they wouldn't let me talk to my biological mother. I wasn't allowed to Facebook her. I wasn't allowed to have a cell phone. My mom gave me $600 to buy a cell phone, and I got grounded for trying to buy one. So I would have been like 14 or 15 years old at the time. So like I said, these families are getting $960 per child. So they have me and my sister. They're getting almost $2,000 a month, which is more than enough to pay for the mortgage and food. After living with them for about 2 years, it was like grade 10, I think, they hit us with the, would you like us to adopt you? And we were like, what the fuck? Because no, we don't. We still know our biological mom. We love our mom. We want to live with our mom at some point when we're allowed to. There's no way that we want to call you mom and dad. Like, you guys are just fostering us. Which there are foster families out there and foster kids who went in at a young age and call their parents mom and dad, but this was not the situation for me. I was in grade 9 when I went to this family. That's when things started to go downhill because it started to get weird. They weren't letting us talk to our mom. They were trying to adopt us, so it felt like they were trying to kidnap us from our family. So that's when I contacted my fax worker and I was like, look, I'm getting the fuck out of here. I do not want to stay with this family at all. So I remember me and my sister went behind the family's back and we asked our friends if anybody would like to be our new foster family. And somebody that I call a brother now, his mom stepped up and said that she would take me in to their family and they had a bedroom for me. I was in contact with them and I got them in contact with my fax worker and we were making this all happen behind the scenes. My sister did the same thing and she got one of her friends' families to foster her, and this is where we split off. I was in grade 10, she was in grade 9, so we didn't really care if we were in the same family. And bonus, we're living with our best friends now. I remember the day that we moved out. It was like we just looked at our foster family and said, this is it, we got a new home, and we left like that day, all because they tried to adopt us. And it's just the way they acted towards not allowing us chat with our mom. I didn't like that at all. This is where things started to get a lot better because I'm 15 years old, living with my best friend, and we lived just down the street from high school, so we had a balling time. Now, when you turn 16 in the system, that $960 starts going into your own bank account, and you get that all the way until you're 21 years old if you're still in foster care. So this is where I'm saying that I kind of cheated the system and I helped it benefit me. When I turned 16, I started getting the $960 and I started paying my friend's family rent, $500 of rent a month, and that means that I was getting $460 or whatever the math is there, $460 a month for doing nothing, and I was working full time, and things were just looking up. When I turned 17 years old, Family and Children's Services came to me and said, it's been a long time, you're more than welcome to live with your biological mom again. Your sister's doing it, she's moving in next week. I was in grade 11 or 12 at the time, so university was coming, and when you turn 18 in foster care, you become a Crown Ward, which means that you were pretty much foster cared most of your life. So me and my mom had a chat, and we said, look, it's smarter for me to just become a Crown Ward and not live with you anymore, which was kind of like a hard conversation because I haven't lived with my mom since grade 7 or 8, so that was 2008. It's been 10 years since I lived with my mom. She's probably pretty heartbroken about that. But anyways, we decided that I would become a Crown Ward because I would continue to get the $960 until I was 21, which would help me go to university. Then on top of that, the system also helps pay for half of your university, which I didn't take advantage of, and I regret not doing that. So after that heartbreak conversation with my mom, I ended up staying with my friend's family until I turned until the end of grade 12. And then as soon as grade 12 hit, as soon as summer hit, I moved out on my own. So I've been on my own since after high school. Now, I'm not telling people to go put their kids in foster care or go become a foster kid because of it helping. It was definitely a benefit, and I was already in the system for so long that it just didn't feel like any change, and I got it lucky by living with my friends. And I know a lot of people don't get it that lucky. A lot of you are with families who are like just fucked. Like, I don't even know how to explain it. I've seen foster families before and they're not fun. Like, most of them are not. And I really feel for the people that are in one that might be shitty right now. But just know that when you turn 16, you pretty much have control now. You can do what you want at 16, although I don't know how it works in different countries. But yeah, so as of today, I'm 24 years old. I'm still a Crown Ward. I will always be a Crown Ward because I was in foster care until 21. I did end up receiving the $960 until 21, but I blew it. I should have saved it. And I didn't go to second year of university, so I kind of fucked my life up there because I could have used the help from being a foster kid for university. On the bright side, I applied for college a week ago and I'll just be paying it on my visa. I feel that this video is going to be very confusing and very all over the place, but that's kind of what it was like for me being a foster kid. And to all my fellow foster kids out there, fucking love you. You'll turn out great. I feel like I turned out fine. And yeah, I don't know where to really go from here. So if you enjoyed hearing about my personal life once again, please give this video a big thumbs up. Leave me comments down below and don't forget to subscribe for a new video Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.